I'm an aging toe tagger, slated to die in prison. I pray to God to change the law or uncover the murderer so I can once again be free before I die in here. If I were free, I'd run with my children and grandchildren in my father's timber. His ponies I would ride. That would be my heaven. In case you haven't guessed it, I'm a country gal. For 30 years, I've awakened to the yell of count time. But each day, I do my level best to bring joy and color and humor to my gray and noisy life. I mother my young friends in here, and like my own children, my prison kids bring music and dance and laughter to my heart and soul. To the uninitiated, life in prison is worse than you can ever imagine, and not as bad as you might think. The injustice kills us bit by bit, the injustice that brings us to this hellhole of red buildings, the injustice that keeps us here. Tupac told us to keep it real. Well, it's real tough, real hard to live behind razor wire fence forever until I die and they put my name on a tag on my toe. That's real. That's real for me. Oh, Miss Patty. Patty was the one who talked me into going back to school. Oh, I'd hated school growing up. Didn't go that much. Because of Patty, I took English Comp 1. And I know I drove her nuts. I was at her stall continuously when I was doing my homework. I was like, oh, Miss P. But Patty was like my mother, my sister, my best friend. She was all that rolled into one. So one part of me wanted to do that so Patty'd be proud of me. Of course, another part of me wanted to do it for myself. I kind of liked it. Oh, but English was like never. Oh, math was always a subject I could whiz right through. Yep, I would hound her day in and day out about my homework. But she was just so supportive. You can do this. You got this. You're smart enough. And I know she's done that with umpteen women who've come through the prison. She'd do that for them because that's just who she is. She kept me out of trouble, too. It was truly a blessing when Patty and I became friends. Well, it was a blessing for me. I got on a parole in 1996. Hadn't seen Patty in 18 years. So visiting her the other day was just over-the-top happiness. Just so joyful and sad at the same time. I always thought I'd see her walking out of prison before I'd ever see her behind bars. She's still there. Billy Prewitt. We met when we were 12 years old in 7th grade. That's when all the satellite grade schools in that area of Jackson County, Missouri, come together in big old Lee Summit. Now listen here, back in 1961, that was a big deal for country bumpkins, like me and my best friend Nancy. We were so funny that first day, walking down the hall, holding each other's hands, scared, excited little girls. Oh, it was nothing for Bill. Lee Summit was his hometown, and he was so sweet, oh, even then. Took us to our senior year to go out on our first date, January 7, 1967. Bill drove up to our old farmhouse in his daddy's sleek burgundy two-door Thunderbird. Ooh, what a cool-looking car. Our house was hopping with neighbor boys, spending the night with younger brother Frank and sister Mary. So we go to dinner, see a movie, get back to the house around 10:30. The rowdy bunch of kids inside are still going at it, having a good old time. So I asked Bill, you want to come in? Sure. You want a Pepsi? Sure. So he follows me into the kitchen. Now, this is only a few steps from the door. I mean, it's a little house. So I get 2 bottles out of the Frigidaire, and I need to open them. Now, remember, this is 1967, way before twist-off caps. You got to use a church key. Anyway, that's what we called it. and we kept it in the silverware drawer in the walk-in cupboard. So I reached for the cupboard door, and oh my gosh, the church key comes out to meet me? That has never happened before. And then the cupboard doors squeak open. Oh no, there's Daddy. Oh, wearing nothing but old man print boxers and monkey socks. Bill Prewitt, I presume, good to meet you. My tall, thin daddy, paper white skin, dark brown farmer tan lines, a bow-legged cowboy, walks down the hallway, shuts the door to bedroom. Mama's in there giggling. I'm dying. I couldn't even look at Bill. Oh, it was bad. It was so bad. But, my fun-loving mama comes out, still giggling, tying up a chenille robe. Anyone want popcorn? Kids come running. Dad comes back wearing jeans and a cowboy shirt. Thank God. Turns out he'd been wrestling the boys in the living room. Must have figured the cupboard was as far as he was going to get. Oh, heck. It all turned out fun. We played cards and ate popcorn. You know, the kind you pop in a real skillet with real butter. Remember that? And every once in a while, Mama would ask Bill, you think you should head home? Surely your folks are worried about you. But nah, Bill, he'd never seen anything like my family before. His house in town was quiet, all that white carpet. Not like our rough and ready farmhouse, where we didn't even have indoor plumbing until I was a teenager. I'm not kidding. And it wasn't like he could call his folks. We didn't have a phone. I mean, I'm talking out in the country. But Mama was right. His folks worried sick. They didn't believe him. Why would anyone's parents play cards till 3 o'clock in the morning with a bunch of kids? So yeah, he got grounded for a week. But after that, we were inseparable. And yep, we couldn't help it. We got married right after our freshman year of college, 1968. In 1969, Jane was born. In 1971, Sarah came along. Matthew was born in 1973. We bought 5 acres from Mama and Daddy and built a house with our own hands. Oh, Bill loved country living. He even milked our goats, learned how to garden. Oh, what a sweet, happy, beautiful little family we were, just living out our dream. Then, in May 1974, if only I hadn't gone with Bill to Sedalia to pick up that paint mixer. If only it'd been rainy that day. But nah, it was gorgeous and sunny in spring, and the kids were with my mama. So I could go with Bill and do some sightseeing in historic Sedalia. They have some beautiful old Victorian homes over there. So I asked Bill to drop me off in a residential area near a park. So I'm going along slowly, you know, feeling like a snoop, examining the old houses from the sidewalk, when 3 young men come up behind me. I stopped to let them pass. I'm telling you, I never saw it coming. They grabbed me, dragged me into some bushes, and took turns raping me. Now, I'd never been with anyone but Bill. I didn't know if they were going to kill me, but they just left me there, sobbing and dirty and scared. This old lady found me, and she took me in her kitchen, cleaned me up, calmed me down. She gave me tea and some advice. Don't tell anyone. And if only I hadn't told Bill. Oh, he was always sweet and kind to me. He pulled away. Sexually. He didn't want to touch me anymore that way, you know? And we didn't make love again till the end of that summer when we went to Minnesota to visit Nancy, and we didn't make love after we got back for a very long time. Oh, thank God I became pregnant with Carrie, my Care Bear, on that trip. Carrie was born May 1975. And after a while, it became clear that Bill was seeing someone else. And I was lonely, so when a neighbor approached me, I began an affair with him. I'm not proud of it, but I was just 27 years old. I know that's no excuse, but see, I didn't want to leave Bill. Look, we still loved each other. We were close friends. We worked as a team. We took good care of our sweet children. And I just kept hoping things would get back the way they were. So one Sunday in 1976, I was reading the paper, looking for a horse to buy. And I saw an ad for a mom and pop lumberyard over in Holden. It's a small rural town southeast of Lee's Summit. Bill was restless working for someone else. He wanted his own business, so we ended up buying it and a big house on 40 acres. And then I got pregnant. As soon as I knew, I sat Bill down. I had to tell him. I couldn't hide it. The baby wasn't his. He hadn't touched me that way since 1974. Oh, I cried. He cried. But we both knew it wasn't the baby's fault. And we agreed to raise the baby like our other children. And Morgan was born in 1977. But that did not mend our fences. Bill was still seeing that woman in Lee's Summit. I saw a couple of guys short term. It was the 70s, you know, free love. But it wasn't what I wanted. How could it be? I wanted my marriage back. Finally, I had to confront Bill. I could not go on this way. Either we were going to be a couple again, or we're going our separate ways. Heck, I had to throw my favorite dishes at him just to get him to talk to me about his feelings. Because clearly, it was my fault I'd been raped. That's why he didn't want to touch me anymore. Oh, we were mad, then sad, then angry again, then heartbroken. Bill cried, saying it was his fault. He hadn't protected me. Finally, with my dishes smashed all over the kitchen, we agreed we loved each other. We wanted to be in love again, wanted to raise our children like the loving parents we had been. And from that moment in 1979, we agreed to start fresh and make this work. And oh, for 5 sweet, hard-working years side by side in our Prewitt lumberyard and having fun at home with the family, we were happier than ever. Till February 18th, 1984, when Bill was killed with his own rifle.